This episode of the Concord Karen Cooperative, Concord Village, downtown Brooklyn, New York, 11201, managed by AKAM, is brought to you by the psycho who thought he could send me anonymous death threats via email and get away with it. Yes, this upstanding Concord Village resident registered an email address in my name, not his own name, at proton.me, a company that provides web services out of Switzerland, thinking that they would protect his anonymity. However, after I forwarded his email to abuse@proton.me, they got back to me promptly. They replied, "Hello, thank you for reporting this to our team. We can confirm that the indicated Proton mail address has been disabled in accordance with our terms of service, so it is no longer operational. Should you be made aware of any similar messages being sent out from another user of ours, do keep us informed. Best regards, Proton Mail Abuse Team." I replied, "Thank you. What do you need from me to release information to U.S. authorities so he can be prosecuted?" They replied, "Good day. Please kindly note that the only way Proton Mail can disclose any limited data on our users is by receiving an appropriate legally binding data request from the Swiss authorities. If you would like to start such a procedure, we would encourage you to pass the following guidelines to your local authorities." I already found out who did this on my own. The great thing about being underestimated by a mediocre, racist, old white man whose ego does not match his intellect is that he assumed I would be intimidated and back down, and he could hide in the dark web, where I'm sure he's doing even more nefarious and perverted things that I haven't uncovered yet. He thought I wouldn't find out who he was because I was just another dumb Puerto Rican personal trainer. He failed to realize I am also a computer scientist and a business systems engineer, specializing in securing private data and uncovering it if I feel like being petty. And guess what? I do feel like being petty when I'm threatened with violence. But while I wait for the official investigation to confirm, which I've already initiated with local authorities, I will keep his name redacted for now. But he just couldn't help himself. He had to take one more step and leave me a negative review on Yelp for my now defunct business, which was boycotted by Marsha Rimler and her band of merry MAGA maggots and the two-faced pseudo-liberals who party with MAGA in their white hoods at night. After I reported the review for harassment, Yelp replied, "Hello. We're responding to your report of the review on your Yelp page. After careful evaluation against our content guidelines, we've decided this review should be removed. Thank you for being part of our community and for providing a helpful report. We appreciate hearing from you. If you encounter further content that may violate our content guidelines, please report it to us." The Yelp support team. Getting Yelp to cooperate with local authorities is much easier than dealing with the Swiss government, but I'll do both concurrently because I'm great at multitasking. Anyway, here's the Yelp review. "I am truly surprised. He was my fitness trainer, and I thought he was great. But then I discovered recently that he was secretly running YouTube channels with highly derogatory content, especially against white people. It was weird because I think he was referring to me in one of his videos and said a lot of racial slurs alluding to us at the gym. Maybe he went through something that broke him, but it's weird because it's like he's imagining some things. I would stay away from him. Very surprising at what I found. Go look for yourself what I uncovered on his channel here. Crazy AF. He needs help. Firstly, I'm not making derogatory content against all white people. I'm making content against a very specific list of individual racist white people whom I've had direct experience with and have evidence against. If you self-identify with them, you should ask your therapist about why you're offended. Because I know a lot of white people that are disgusted by what was allowed to happen to me and other minorities at Concord Village on such a regular basis that I could make a whole series out of it. Secondly, if I were referring to you, you would know it because I have named names. You, a complete stranger, injected yourself into something that didn't concern you and made it so easy to expose another racist that wasn't even on my radar if you hadn't just minded your fucking business. Thirdly, you used the wrong homophone in your sentence. It is maybe he went through something. THROUGH, not THREW. You should know that since you think you're the superior race, right? Fourthly, you used it's incorrectly twice. In your context, it should be IT''S, not ITS. It is weird, and it is like he is imagining things. It's, with an apostrophe, is the contraction for it is, and it's, with no apostrophe, is possessive. Anyway, I did my own investigation, and I asked the client who still lives in Concord Village if he recognizes him. Here's the audio and transcript.
How did you figure out it was from him?
Because the picture he used in his Yelp review was his back, shirtless, and then I Googled Concord Village on YouTube and I found his channel where his profile picture is him in the Concord Village gym.
Oh my God. He used to be my buddy. I swear. talk forever. Not that I was interested, but me and the other people in that group, we would say, "What the fuck?" And then he disappeared before the pandemic, or even before that. And I thought he moved or something.
The last video he made was 2 years ago about renovating his apartment. So his profile on YouTube doesn't have his face close up. But if I sent you another profile, would you be...
You sent me a picture of him.
Yeah, but that's not a very clear one. I was looking at...
I know, but it was clear enough. So that was him.
I hope he's not a real doctor, because that's crazy.
We used to say, why isn't he ever doctoring? He never had a practice that I know of if he was a doctor. It is very strange. I'm interested because you picked up on that, but that's something that we never knew. Who cared at the time? He would only come at night when we were there, like the midnight crew.
Uh-huh.
So you weren't about to see him, but...
What kind of stuff did he talk about?
Everything. He knew everything he said. He's kind of strange.
Kinda?
He was quite a character. I never knew. He really was. He knew everything. If you take this extract and put it in here and drink that, you're going to be cured. He knew everything.
Oh, he's like one of those supplement psychos.
He was more like scientifically based, but not factually based.
That's called pseudoscience.
Okay, he would say it was backed by evidence,
Well, so does Dr. Oz. So does
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right. That's...
I don't know. He lives with his girlfriend/wife, and he's like he says, poly. He's always looking for somebody. He would come into the gym, and he would do that shock, where you lift 1 million pounds and drop it, and it was like so noisy and.
So, is this guy really a doctor? Who knows? There's no accountability in our broken, corrupt system. Marsha Rimler was the head of a hospital for decades, and she's a racist, demented shitbag. But I don't think you should buy the supplements he's selling. Based on the crazy email he sent me, he shouldn't be allowed within 500 feet of a school, if you know what I mean. I can't even read the email in full because it would be flagged for removal for hate speech and threats of violence. But let's start with the subject. Reminder, email to self. Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. This guy loves the Old Testament. What a fucking surprise. He should take his advice because he lied about being my client on that Yelp review. I just talked to Abraham and Moses, and he said you're going straight to fucking hell. Now, I was raised Catholic, and they start brainwashing with the Old Testament at 4 years old. So I asked Jesus too, and he agrees. You're going to hell. I asked Muhammad, Buddha, Zeus, Wolverine, Neo from the Matrix. I prayed to Betty White, and even she said you're going to hell. Everyone agrees you're going straight to hell. Now, I'll be nice about this. And if you give me a public apology by the next Sabbath, I will drop the impending criminal and civil lawsuits for threats of violence and harassment. So that's February 21st if you're Jewish, or February 22nd if you're Christian. Peace and blessings.